Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Mysteries from Beyond the Other Dominion. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Ruehl. Now, the mad scientist of Italy who may have inspired Mary Shelley. Roll tape!
Second time to the 18th century Italy. But first, the trivia question of the day. Let me extricate here from this paper prison. What was the first name of the author who was named in the title of the opera The Tales of Hoffmann? We want now to know Hoffmann, the German author's first name. Now it's multiple choice in alphabetical order. Was that first name Adolf, Ernst, Franklin, Hans, Joseph, Karl, Ludwig, Rudolf, Siegfried, or Werner? Now, the only prize for the correct answer is one pat on the back that you're going to have to administer to yourself. Now, if you want $1 million, call Regis Philbin. But please, please do not contact us. We don't have any operators to take your calls. If we did, we still could not afford any prizes. I'll take a sip of water and be back momentarily with the correct answer. Okay, I'm calling time. Now let's look at the 10 possibilities for Hoffmann's first name. Was it Adolf, Ernest, Franklin, Hans, Joseph, Karl, Ludwig, Rudolf, Siegfried, or Werner? I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you one of those wimpy lifelines. We'll go 80-20. Computer, please eliminate 2 of the incorrect answers, leaving the correct answer and 7 incorrect ones. And let's see what we have here. Adolf, Ernst, as usual, Franklin's left off. Everyone else has remained. Siegfried was taken off too, but Franklin, every time I do this, Franklin is taken off. No matter what language it is, no matter what it pertains to, Franklin never makes the final cut, even on 80-20. You know how that disappoints me? Okay, I'll try one more wimp line. Let's go poll our vast audience, see what they say. And computer, please bring up the results. And what do we have here? Adolf, 12%. Ernst, 12%. Franklin, 4%. Just 4%? Everyone else, look at that. Everyone else got 12%. I'll tell you what. The 4% who voted for me, you stay. The rest of you, the other 96%, if you want to change channels now, that's perfectly all right with me. Just the 4% of you remain. We'll give you that final wimp line. We'll call one of your friends. Phone a friend here. We have him on the line, and what is your answer? Giuseppe. First of all, Giuseppe wasn't on the original list. Secondly, Giuseppe's an Italian name. We were looking for a German name. Thank you for nothing, knucklehead. Now it's up to you, and I have to ask, is that your final answer? Adolf? No, it was Ernst Hoffmann. Now, back in the 1700s in Italy, there was a man whose name was Lazzaro Spallanzani. He was actually a professor of natural biology at the University of Paiva and a member of the British Royal Society, a highly respected scientist of his day. But he also had a reputation of being a bit unorthodox. For example, he repeatedly cut off the heads of snails to find out if they would regenerate, which they did not. He repeatedly blinded bats to find out if they could still see, and he actually identified the phenomenon of echolocation that they had. He also dehydrated many insects and small animals, trying to reanimate them with water. In some cases with insects such as moths, he was successful. And he was the first actually to identify white blood cells, but his general reputation was that of what we'd call a mad scientist today. He died in 1799. In 1815, the German author Ernst Hoffmann, who often was called an early sci-fi writer, depicted him in the novel Der Sandman, used his name, and just added a few embellishments such as the creation of a beautiful female robot, which as far as we know, Lazzaro never created. Now, Mary Shelley published Frankenstein just 3 years later in 1818, and the question is, was it possible that Lazzaro Spallanzani was her model for Dr. Frankenstein? Now, I previously mentioned that she also had visited Castle Frankenstein in Germany before her book was published, and heard about Dibble Frankenstein, who was an alchemist who tried to create artificial life from non-life. So she might have actually been influenced by both of these individuals. As far as Hoffmann himself, in 1881, Jacques Offenbach made him the hero of an opera, The Tales of Hoffmann, where he was actually carrying out the experiments that Spallanzani had. So the man that Hoffmann wrote about became himself in this famous opera, Tales of Hoffmann. That's Ernst Hoffmann for the record.
Now, until next time, may the power of the cosmos be with you. Yes, yes, yes.